Hi, Aletha here with Create Your Future, and thank you so much for joining me on this video. I am looking forward to our time together. I want to remind you that Create Your Future is giving away a free course on how to find your blocks to manifest anything fast, and that I have courses available. They're all $50 straight across the board, and then I also am doing coaching one-on-one, and all of that is on sale as well. So check it all out, and let's get into our topic right away. All right, I have a question for you. Are you living in the moment, or are you allowing your thoughts to drift to the past and events that took place there, or are you allowing your mind to drift to the future, inventing conversations and events there? And to also let you know and remind you that everything is truly now in the universe, right? It's now. There is no past, there is no future. We live in linear time, which delineates past, present, and future. However, the truth of the matter is, in the quantum field, is everything is simultaneously happening now. So your past is actually happening now. Your future is actually happening now. And with that future, you get to choose. You see, there's a probability of so many things possible for you out there to choose from according to your thoughts. But the best place to be is in your present moment, because that's where you create the future according to the choices you make now. So if you're choosing now to think about your specific person and that they're doing something you don't want them to do, or you have a fear of that, and then you continue to loop that over in your mind and you feel it very strongly, that will show up. I have an example of a client who decided they were going to check up on their SP. So they knew where the SP might be going, but they just suspected it. They didn't know for sure, because it was a fear in their own mind that they were going to this other person's house. So they went where they could sit unseen in their car and watch the person drive to the other. That was their intent, to watch that person drive, their SP drive to this other person's house. Well, guess what happened? Because they had so much intention, because they had given it so much thought, that person, their SP, literally drove to the other person's house, which was their fear. Now, would that have happened had they had a different imaginal scene, a different intention? No, probably. It's out there, it's possible, but not if you, only because you chose it. That person chose that event to take place by giving it their attention, their awareness, by setting it up, by literally spying on that person with the intent that they're going to show up. And of course they had to, because that is how we manifest. So if they had done the opposite and they had created a scenario in their mind that that person was madly in love with them and committed to them and coming to their own house, and they would have see that over and over and be at their house for that person to show up, to see all of that in their mind, that the person literally came to their house, not someone else's. That would have also manifested. So you see how important it is to really, in the present moment, be aware of what you are thinking and feeling, because the energy, the energetic direction is your intention. That's the energy. And the magnet to pull it in is what you're feeling. And when you're thinking negative things, I know that there is tons of emotion connected to that. We're feeling scared, we're feeling frightened, we're feeling angry, we're feeling resentment. But when you imagine something good for your future in the present moment, like that person, your SP, coming to your house and surprising you and spending time with you, then you feel those feelings, and that's what's going to show up as long as you stay in that. And it seems that we are so much better at staying in the negative than we are the positive. Because why? Well, the analytical mind could say, oh, that'll never happen. You know damn well that they're over there with that person. Or you know this and you know that. No, you don't. It's all supposition. You don't know anything until you choose what it is you know. You get to choose what you know. And so let's know that everything is working out in our best interest, in what we want to experience, because in the now is where you create your future 3D reality. So if whatever's going on right now in your current 3D reality, if it is not what you want it to be, then you know that your past thoughts and where your awareness was just created that 3D, no one else. It's not you can't blame the specific person, you can't blame anybody for anything. You only know that you're responsible for it. And because you're responsible for it, you don't have any problem changing it, right? You don't have to wait for someone else to change their mind because you're the one that created it. So it's all up to you. And that's the joy of it. So when we say everything is you pushed down and that everything in your 3D reality that you don't like, you created, then there's joy in that because now you know you created that. You can certainly create the opposite. And you can tell your analytical mind to go away. Deny it and say, no, this is what I'm experiencing now. This is what my life is now. And you live from having it now, then it will show up in what we call our future. But everything is really, truly happening in the now anyway. So when you close your eyes, and you get still and you go into that state akin to sleep or that drowsy state, which is alpha and theta, and you get there and you imagine whatever it is your heart's desiring and you feel it with all the tones of reality, as Neville says, then you know that that's going to push out of you and be reflected back. And in our linear time, that's going to be your future, right? But the truth is, it actually happened when you imagined it. That was the real thing. That was the real scene. And see, that is so hard for us to get through our thick skulls, that the 3D is a reflection, a simulation of our past thoughts. It's not real, but we give it all the tones of reality that it is real, and it's not. It is not, but what you imagine, what you keep intending over and over again, that I am in a loving, committed relationship with my specific person, that I have perfect health, that I have more money than I know what to do with, and anything else that your heart might be desiring, when you live from that state of consciousness in the now, that I have all that now, no matter what's showing up in your 3D, with the understanding and the knowledge that that stuff in the 3D, I created from my past thoughts. And I'm not going to repeat that mistake because I don't want those things to show up in my life ever again. So where do I stay? In the moment, with the new vision, with whatever it is I want. I am pain-free. I have perfect health. I am with my SP and he is or she is loving and caring and committed to me. I have all the money I need, always, always. And so you live in that state of consciousness no matter what's showing in the 3D, because that is not real. What is real is what you're creating for your linear time future, which is really happening now. So when you are recently I was missing someone and something happened that I really wanted to be in touch with them, but I knew I couldn't, there was no way for me to be in touch with them because of the circumstances in the way it was working out. So I just decided, and plus I like doing this. So I just, in my mind, decided to use telepathy. I'm just gonna tell you in my mind that this has happened and I want you to contact me. And I did it. And guess what? The person contacted me and they said I had a dream. They told me what the dream was, which was me telling them that I wanted them to contact me because of what had happened. And they showed up at my house to be the very thing that my heart had been desiring within that telepathy, that message. And I used my imagination. I imagined them coming here and being here with me. But before that, I set the intention that I literally sent a message to them telepathically because I know they hear it. Because thought transmission is real. Telepathy is real. And the thing that's really cool about this is because it's happened to this person and I many, many times. So I had extra confidence, but it doesn't matter. There was a first time when I had no confidence, but it happened, right? So you just live in a state of consciousness that I knew they had received the message. I knew I would get a contact from them, and I did. And I imagined what that contact would be like, and that's exactly what it was. And because we understand this together, this person and I, we can talk about it. But you know, many times the people that you want to bring into your life or contact telepathically and or imagine them coming to see you or be with you, whatever it is that you want, or healing, that we don't always have that. Maybe we're at the first time and we don't have proof, but you do have proof that you can manifest the old stuff you don't want. You certainly then have proof that you can manifest the new stuff, because there's nothing out there in the universe saying you can have this, but you can't have that. No, nothing. It only mirrors back what you tell it. So if you're constantly thinking about that person's coming to my house to spend time with me, and you're waiting on them expectantly with joy because you know they are, and you imagine it that they are. I did that. I expectantly waited on that person to contact me, but at the same time, I was imagining what that would look like. I was imagining them being here with me after the contact. So I did it all at the same time, and it all worked out exactly. And it was so cool that they had a dream while they were asleep, which to me is so cool, because when you're asleep, sound asleep into your dream realm, your analytical mind is shut down. And what's operating? The subconscious mind. So that messages can get through, and the analytical mind is not saying, oh yeah, right, you didn't hear that from her. No, this isn't happening. No, and it rationalizes, no such thing as telepathy. No, none of that. You know, all the negative stuff that the analytical mind will tell you. And where you have to argue with it. Well, I don't argue with it, but where you have to deny what it's saying and say, no, this is what I live from. I did send a message. I deliberately sent a message, and I know I'll get a reply. Did I know how my message would go through? Never once did I think about them having a dream of me coming to them, telling them, and even though that's happened between this person and I many times. So I didn't think about that. I was consumed in what was going on in my world. I wanted this person to know, and I wanted them to contact me. And they did. And I love doing it telepathically. I love how it works out. And I had no idea that it was going to come to them through a dream of me being there with them. And then I asked them, well, how did you respond in the dream, in that dream state? And they told me, and they said, we're doing what I am now, being with you the way I am now. So you see, it was so beautiful. You can't imagine. You can imagine that. You can imagine that. But yeah, a lot of times we're not able to don't even try to figure out how it will happen. But it always happens in the most wonderful, beautiful ways. Okay, so now stay in the now moment, and remember that we are in linear time in the 3D realm, past and future, but they really don't exist in the quantum field. There's only now, and that everything is happening simultaneously in the quantum field. So whatever you're thinking now, and whatever you remember from the past, or whatever you may project for the future, that's all happening now. And at the future, you have the potential to change the future to be whatever you want it to be. If you have a thought for the future that frightens you, change it to something that doesn't. Same thing with the past. If you get a thought from the past, and I've had clients say to me, well, I'm a victim of abuse, or I'm a victim of this or that. And I say, you still are? You're only that because you are saying you are. Let it go. The past does not exist. And it only exists because you're saying it does. Rewrite it. Go back. I went back and changed my past from being a abused little girl to a girl that was just loved and adored and valued. And guess what? What are my memories now, that? And so that's where I live. I stay there. And then more of that shows up, because when you live from a state of consciousness that I can't trust, men always leave me, I was abused, whatever it might be. I come from a family of poverty. When you live from that as your identity, as you say, this is who I am, and I experience this, and I can't trust because of it, then that's exactly what's going to show up in your world, continually showing up in your world until you change your thoughts. Change your thoughts, you change your reality. So now is the time to do that. In the moment, practice living in the moment. Notice the trees around you as you're driving. They're changing colors in my part of the world. Notice the temperature. Notice what's going on around you. Notice what's cool and neat in your house. Notice the interactions you're having in the now with people. And then predict your future. because we have linear time, so we have a future. But in the quantum field is all now. So now whatever I'm thinking and feeling about my future in linear time is nothing more than happening now. It's happening now. So when that person imagined that they're a special person who was going to visit somebody else, another woman, a 3P, then it came true because they imagined it. They went to so much trouble that they put it into action by driving there and sitting so they could see it happen. Of course, it had to happen. It had to happen because that's manifesting. Our thoughts create our future. They create our reality. And so create what you want to experience, and it has to happen. Whatever you are thinking and feeling internally in the moment now is going to be projected out of you and then reflected back, mirrored back to you by the universe. The universe only mirrors back. It doesn't judge anything. It doesn't think what's good for you. It doesn't think what's bad for you. It doesn't make any decisions for you. You're making them all. You make them all yourself. So make sure that what you're thinking in the moment is exactly what you want to experience in your linear future, your next 3D reality, and that's exactly what will happen. You got to stick with it, you got to have a concerted effort, and you got to put forth effort, and you got to deny the 3D and any thoughts that come to you that say, no, it can't happen, it's impossible. I have so many stories of things being impossible that aren't impossible at all. Nothing is impossible. And that is a true statement. Nothing is impossible. Something always works out to make the impossible possible. Trust the universe's ability to mirror back what you're thinking and feeling internally. If you have questions on all this, you can leave a comment. I will give you a broad answer. I cannot give you a specific answer. Obviously, I don't know the specifics of your situation, but I'll give you a broad answer. And if you really need specifics, schedule a course with me. Everything's on sale right now. We can talk about it. Schedule a coaching session with me because everything is on sale right now too. And that makes it easier financially. So, and also my courses are out there. So blessings and thank you for listening to this video.